Hello, we're TorqueAI. I got off my mission in 2013, and to celebrate being home, I went on a surf trip down to Mexico with my family. So we're driving down from LA. As soon as we cross over the border, mariachi band music's playing off in the distance, and the transmission on my 2002 F-150 starts blowing out. So we scrape back across the border, get to a mechanic, and get a quote for a $2,500 transmission repair. Well, I Kelly Blue Book my car. It's worth $5,000, and in my mind, I'm saying, okay, there's a $2,500 buffer of value that will eat up future costs. I'm gonna fix this. So I fix the transmission. Fast forward a year, my engine blows out. 3 months later, the rear differential's gone. I spend $12,000 on a $5,000 car. And that was when the light bulb went off. I realized there is nothing out there online that can solve this exact same problem. And I also thought that if we gathered enough data, we could predict when certain cars were likely to break down in the future and how much those costs would be.
So that's exactly what we've done at TorqueAI. We've collected massive amounts of automotive data and combined that on a web platform with cutting-edge machine learning analysis. And we're using Google's TensorFlow open source machine learning framework with the Keras API on top to allow us to iterate and create powerful algorithms really quickly. So how does TorqueAI actually work for an everyday consumer? Our first product is called junkorfix.com, and we drive users to our website with online advertising. We're using Google, Facebook, and Bing to bring people who maybe are interested in figuring out what the future of their car looks like or who are having car problems to our website. Once they're on our website, we have them fill out an intuitive, easy-to-complete form that takes less than a minute. We collect important data about their vehicle, their automotive situation, and we collect some of their personal information. This allows us to give them a machine learning generated cost-benefit analysis about the future of their vehicle and help educate them about whether they should maybe fix their car, sell it, or make the best financial decision about their vehicle. And we're also left with personal information and a valuable story about their unique situation that we can sell to multiple third parties. So there is a huge market here. There's a $30 billion advertising spend in the automotive industry just for dealerships and other entities we're going to be selling to. So this is an expansive market.
So where does this leave us? We're in a very valuable situation where we're gathering information. We can go to the next, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We're gathering information, not just a name and a contact info on somebody whose car's broken down, but we're actually gathering a story, a unique situation that someone finds themselves in. And there's 5 separate non-competing parties who are chomping at the bit to buy this information from us so that they can help the user make the right financial decision and be profitable as well. And those are car dealerships, car mechanics, lenders, insurers, and car rental agencies. None of them are competing, but they want a piece of this story. They want to be able to call me in 2013 and say, it looks like your transmission's blown out, your engine's going to blow out in 10,000 miles, why don't we get you into a new car? This also leaves us in a very unique financial situation. We've gathered millions of points of data over the past several months, and in order to get this accuracy, this predictive analytics to be accurate, we need a lot of data. But at zero incremental cost to drive someone to our site, we get an extra line of data. Also, we're really excited about this multi-sale model. It costs us $5 to $6 to drive someone to our site, but we can sell that same information for over $25 to several different parties that are non-competing. We've covered the fixed costs, and every incremental dollar of funding we receive goes straight to variable, which becomes sales instantaneously.
Yeah, so where are we at right now? We've already signed contracts with several dealerships. We're in talks with lots of different vehicle service providers, and we have $2,000 of revenue backlog waiting to be earned just from March in our beta test. We can sell leads to dealerships for $15 right now with a $150 kickback if somebody buys a vehicle. And like we already mentioned, it costs us about $5 in advertising spend to generate these leads, so there's a great profit margin.
Imagine the possibilities. Wherever there's a machine that could break down and data being gathered about that, we can then apply our algorithm to that in the future. So Junker Fix is our first product. Imagine with agriculture, aerospace and defense, public transportation, fleet management, the opportunities are really limitless. We're TorqueAI. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, is car failure really that predictable? I mean, aren't there a lot of variables that go into that? Can you talk a little bit about the predictive, the technology, and how you really predict with any level of accuracy that's helpful?
Yeah, so So obviously, like, there's a lot of different factors that go into whether a vehicle will break down or not. Location, how the user drives it, how much they drive it. But fortunately, although it may be hard for one of us just to like look at data and come up with a formula to predict it, when we look at millions of rows of data and look at snapshots in the life of many vehicles, we can see this year, model, make of vehicle is likely to experience this kind of repair cost because people have paid that in the past. So using historical data allows us to predict the future effectively.
Where does that historical data come from?
So yeah, I'll let Jackson.
So what we've done, it's a bit of a trade secret, but we've taken Olive Garden gift cards to a bunch of personal connections and traded for obfuscated data. We don't need customer information, right? We just need year, make, model, mileage, repair cost, etc. We spent several months amassing a very large database that, I mean, it's nowhere near where we want it to be, but it's enough to drive that prediction and make it accurate.
Does this enable the consumer or the driver to be able to know if he or she actually has a problem as well? Can they actually go to check? Because I know there's always been an issue for me, like when the company says, well, this and this is broken. Well, how do I actually know as a consumer? Is he really telling me the truth? There tends to be a little bit of an issue with that.
That is a great question. I think while we can't nail it down, what you could do is theoretically run your car through and see if that was something that was happening in that mileage range for your car. But that said, we have options on the website to input a current quote, and that will run a cost-benefit analysis based off of what you're currently priced at.
So what proof do you, so we're spending a lot of time looking at predictive companies. We've got a bunch of big data companies. We're actually looking at a company that does estimates in an automated way for this whole supply chain. So we know a little bit about it. And curious, what proof do you have that your algorithm actually works? Because I'd be a little skeptical, honestly, that it's actually that predictive, Jeremy.
Yeah, so we can't prove that we're going to call like exactly what you're going to spend, right? Every car is different. However, we can compare, with machine learning, you have a training set and a set that you can test your algorithm against, and so you partition your data up right into those two sets. So we're able to compare against other historical data and say, hey, does this make sense? Is this looking like it's predicted accurately what this other piece of our data has shown to be true, and that allows us to, improve the accuracy of our prediction. So we're currently showing a plus or minus $200 cost over 5 years.
Okay, cool. Good idea.
Perfect. Thank you, TorqueAI.